All right, good afternoon. I'm going to declare that we have a quorum of 4 or 5 members present and call this meeting to order of the Glenn County Board of Assessors. Today is November 13th. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of our past meeting. Everyone has taken a look at those. I will entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of October 9, 2025.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion or changes? Hearing none, I will move on to the next item, which is our chief appraiser matters. Mr. Glisson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ron Glisson, Chief Appraiser with the Glenn County Property Appraisal Office. So today, item one is the 26-27 budget that I want to discuss. There's some information on the left side of your packet. Before I get to the 26-27 budget, I just want to talk a little bit about current year budget. So we still, if y'all recall, we've got security set up at the front counter that is, at this point, they're getting bids. They've given us a $75,000 allowance to become a little more secure and kind of get in line with the other offices that you see at the Harold Pate building. So we don't have a quote on that, but they did say that it's probably not going to be $75,000, and so we're going to use the extra money that's left over. We're going to use that for flooring, carpet, and tile, and also if there's any money left over from there, then we'll do some paint and try to. There's a couple of walls that are in pretty bad shape. So, but anyways, I want to thank the county commission for that $75,000 allocation. I think when it gets done, it'll be nice, be an upgrade and also secure, which is what I think the board was tasked us to do. 26-27 budget. Couple of items here in your packet. I've got two vendors that I would like to get an okay to pursue. They've given us, one is going to be GMAS. This is going to be for our rural land parcels, and we typically do it every 3 years. As you know, we're audited by the Department of Revenue every 3 years, and so we try to stay in with that aspect. And it gives you pretty detailed, it gives you a timeline on it, and I think all in all, the price has been pretty stable through the years. You can see it's going to be $14,000, and it also gives you the timeline of when they're going to implement the schedule. So we rarely use their expertise, the $650 per day. We've yet to use that. Feel like we've got a capable staff that can understand what's been provided to us, and again, we've yet to use that $650 per day per diem. So and then item number 2 is going to be true roll, which I talked with Andrew Blood today, and he said that what's going to happen here is if we want to pursue it for the 26-27 budget, he's going to charge the same as the year before last. As you know, it was mid-year when we pursued true roll, and what happened there is they gave us a kind of a 2-for-1. So this year, obtained some information today about how to go about utilizing the second year of that two-year series, and I think we're gonna, as you know, we saved approximately $577,000 from year 1. Year 2, probably something less than that, but we still think it's going to be a very positive year. So return on investment from approximately a $68,000 initial investment. You know, year 1, $577,000, really a good return for the taxpayers of Glenn County. So I guess as far as going forward, would ask for y'all's blessing on these two vendors to pursue. If I could get a blessing of some sort. I don't know if a vote's necessary. I'll let the board speak on that, but to get y'all's blessing to move forward on these two vendors, because I think they're definitely needed.
Well, I know we've had some discussion about this, I guess, add-on to the Tyler Technology System, the True Roll, I guess is what I should call it. Do you feel like the return is going to be anywhere close. I mean, we've identified most of the issues, I think, that were lingering over several years. Do you anticipate more will be identified this year, enough to justify doing it?
I think it's going to be a positive, obviously, which would be more than 68,000. It's hard to speak on. Obviously, I think it's going to be less because we got the guaranteed, homesteads that were needed to be voided for the year for various reasons. But I think it's going to be less than 577,000 year one savings. So, but I still think it's going to be a positive. I think talking to people around the state that have this vendor say the same thing. It's still going to be net positive. So it's always going to be a good return on your money. You're going to get your money back. So the taxpayers. So I think it's a good. And at some point, I guess we would continue down the road until we got to a point where the board maybe, you know, if we almost a break even, the board can make a decision at that point. I would think to say, hey, let's reevaluate. You know, let's see if we can do something else.
And refresh my memory, if we do not meet the levels that we're paying, they reimburse us for that amount?
Initially, that was what they stated. You know, I'm not sure now if they're going to carry that. It wasn't in the contract, but it was stated, as you and I both part of the initial talks. So I'm not really sure. We would have to visit that in the new contract to say, hey, you know, if it's not break even, would y'all be willing to provide the difference? Which, you know, maybe so. We'll see.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not speaking for everyone else, but that makes it easier for me to approve when
yeah,
there is
no doubt.
Guarantee of a return or at least a break even.
Yeah.
That's a year contract?
Yeah, 1 year. Yeah.
I know we've talked about, you know, because I think initially it was talked about having a 3-year contract for it.
Right.
You know, I mean, my concern is that it's not going to identify as many, and it's not going to be as worth it. I mean, like I said, if there is that guarantee written into the contract, I feel comfortable with it. But I don't want to spend money, you know, that's not going to produce a return.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we've identified most of the issues. Because I mean, you were identifying issues that were how old in the true roll?
I mean, it would go back to 2001, the implementation of Scarlett Williams. Okay. You know, at some level.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got a considerable number. I don't know. I mean, that's my concern. I'll listen to everyone else's opinion on it, but I'm not against doing it. I mean, we talked about doing it every 3 years,
right?
And I don't see a harm in doing it that way either.
I don't see a harm either.
Well, they do that though. They'll do any year.
Yeah, they'll do anything from the business aspect. He just said that if we continued the process, they'll charge us the same, approximately 68,000, which is what we paid for the 2 years for. Typically, it's a 1 year, but the timing again was where they gave us a 2-for-1 deal. So we can, you know, I can reach out to the president and see what his thoughts are, if he can incorporate that into the verbiage and bring it back. If you look on our calendar, this would go under capital. So again, it's December 12th is probably when we need to put that into our budget. So timing may be an issue. I think our next board meeting, Arian, the 18th. Again, we can always change that, but there'll be a slight timing issue. But I can always communicate to the board if he's willing to do that.
Is this going to benefit staff also? Is it going to help staff, you know, take some pressure off of staff?
Yeah, I mean, it adds a little bit of work because otherwise the proprietary information from this software lets us know things a lot easier. So it makes it a little more efficient to find people who are maybe fraudulent or not even fraudulent but just didn't realize. And so it makes it easier, but we have to go through and address it. So it puts a little bit of pressure on staff. Again, we just inherited the homestead issue several years back, and so we just want to make sure we're good stewards and trying to do the best we can with it. So I would say it puts a little bit of pressure on the staff to have it, but also the product saves tax dollars, which is, a very, very good thing. Yeah.
I personally think one more year wouldn't hurt. It's just my 2
It's
cents, and then go maybe every 2 or 3 or.
And we may want to talk to the county attorney before approving it to see if there is a contract that we could view that would indicate, if the cost will not exceed return.
Right.
Okay. So, is that something you can do before our next meeting?
Sure. Sure. I can have conversation with him, and I can also have conversation with the president of True Roll and see if they're willing to do it a two-part issue, I believe. But I can definitely have it done before the next week or so.
Okay.
So.
Does anyone have any problem doing it that way? All right. And as far as the renovation of the office, does anyone? I have no problem. I think it needs to be done. Do you have plans that actually show what the layout is?
We do. Jamie Lane's been working kind of side by side with the folks, just conceptually, and I'm aware of it. I believe what's going to happen is they're going to have a wall when you come in. It's going to be similar to where finance and where the old customer service is. So you're going to come in and have some open space with the chairs and the access to the computer, and then you're going to have a base wall with security glass, and then there's going to be 2 workstations on each side, and then I think the ingress egress is going to be in the middle. Is that correct? So there's going to be an access door that's going to be controlled. So that's how it's going to look. So I think it's going to. It's going to have a nice flow to it, but again, we are pushed behind. The tax commissioner was taking over human resource area. Human resource went to 3rd floor, and so they had to do those 2, and so they're in the. I don't know what. I think they're in the final stages of the tax commissioner's office, but we'll come up next with that. So it may push us into the next budget, but we're on schedule, which is a positive.
For us?
I think that's pretty much it for today.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next on the agenda is our consent agenda. Everyone should have received 2 emails. The first one were the first 3 items on the agenda. Then we had the Superior Court recommendations added on. So hopefully everyone had time to review those. Any questions, concerns, item to be pulled from the consent agenda?
No.
If not, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
A second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next, old business. I am happy to report, that our case with the IRS, I think each of you were interviewed for, was settled. And Mr. Glisson and I did not have to go to Atlanta to testify, which was a good thing. I spent way too much time talking with attorneys and that sort of thing, but it was nice not to have to go up to Atlanta. So that item, and I don't know anything about the settlement. We were just told the case has been settled. So that, I think, is a good thing. Any other old business that anyone has to bring before us today?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
would like to mention that there's a case directly behind that case that was settled that they've already started the data request, so it'll be coming forward soon. That just a similar case, but a different ownership group. So they're moving forward with that one as well.
All right. Great. Spend more time on Teams meetings, which I love to do sometimes. All right, thank you. Any other old business? Hearing none. Any new business? need for an executive session? Hearing none, I'll bring it to the best part of our meeting. I will declare this adjourned.
Almost a record.